This is Paul, and this is your weekly Paul Talk. I'm in the car right now. I'm at a CVS parking lot, and the reason for that is super exciting. I get to meet my nephew, Jacob. He was born 2 days ago. My brother and his wife, Lindsay, Lindsay had a baby, and super pumped for that. And so I'm here visiting fam, and I just want to get this Paul Talk out to everybody. It's going to be a great week, and I'm ready for the ride. So let's talk a little bit about this week's Paul Talk. I want to introduce a concept to everybody that I've utilized secretly that has really helped me. And I just introduced it to a couple of close friends who have been messing with it, and they have transformed over a very short period of time. So now that I've got your attention, let me tell you the facts. And the facts are that, number one, the mind is a computer system. Any way you look at it, it processes information, and the way that it processes information is that it tries to take the path of least resistance to get to the objective or the idea or the thought that you're trying to bring to the front, to the consciousness part of the mind. Not to bore you too much with all those things, but the bottom line is that because the brain is a computer and it has a processor, there is something called mental fatigue or decision fatigue. I've touched on this point before, but I want to bring it back to the surface. And decision or brain fatigue is simply just that. When the brain processes a lot of decisions, even the littlest ones, the tiniest ones, it uses up the processing power. There is a finite amount of this processing power available to you on a day-to-day basis. When does that processing power recharge, you think? When you sleep. Exactly. Which is why the sleep habit is a crucial foundational recovery habit. When you sleep, you're not just recharging your body, you're obviously recharging your mind, and particularly you're recharging that decision-making ability. So if you feel like you're having difficulty making decisions, or you feel anxiousness or nervousness, the first solution or the first thing you want to look at is, am I sleeping enough? And what is my quality of sleep? And we'll touch on that this Saturday, because it's going to be all about sleep this Saturday. I cannot wait to talk about it because I love sleep. All right, so let's continue. So we've got mental and we've got decision fatigue. We rest, it recovers, but we have a finite amount throughout the day. Okay, let's move on. So what is the concept? Well, the concept is called the next three. And I want you to repeat that to yourself many, many times, because I want the next three to become an awareness trigger for you. So whenever you start to look at a variety of different decisions that you have to make, or when you're thinking about planning ahead, you want to think about the next three. Now, this is much more difficult than you think. So I want to really focus in on the fact that you're going to need to train to do this properly and effectively. This isn't just going to, if it comes naturally to you, you're blessed. But most of the people really have to try hard to make this work. And here's how the next three works. Whenever we're making our decisions or whenever we're planning ahead, what we're doing is we're trying to what? Well, number one, we're trying to get control. Right? The more we think ahead, the more in control we feel. But there's a falsity to this, because as soon as we start to get too far ahead in our planning, the variable of probability and other factors that fly into those events pretty much make any decision making that's way too far out probably obsolete. So we do this, and yet the outcome is never what we really think or plan when it goes that far ahead. So that's number one. Number two, as we're planning that far ahead, each plan or each decision or each thought that we have further and further ahead drastically depletes our decision-making abilities, because we have to now retain that plan in our minds the entire time. So if you're planned for the week, oh my God, can you imagine how much your brain has to process in terms of information? It's absolutely crazy. So the next three helps you sever the tie to this falsified belief that we can control anything past what's really just about right ahead of us. So here's how it works. You don't plan past the next three things. You're always on the next three. So what you have to do today is wake up, brush your teeth and stretch, and Nope. those 3. Once you bang out the 1, you've got 2 left, you can add 1 to the tail end. It's always the next 3. So what I recommend is think in 3s. When you have to do something, when you have to plan something, think in terms of 3, because then you're not carrying that weight of decisions and of plans all throughout this period of time. Really, really important stuff. So as you start to talk to people that are planning way far ahead, they are sort of planning for you. So what you want to do is you want to say, hey, listen, I'm only going to focus on the next 3 things. What are they? What do you want to do? Okay, we've got to go to the store. We've got to do blah, blah, blah. And then we've got to do that 3rd thing. Perfect. Let's get those things done. And then let's look at the next 3. Because the truth of the matter is that when you complete those 3 and the time passes and things change and your energy levels and this and that, guess what? You've now got 3 things that you can do based off of the reality of now, rather than the reality of where you were before you made your original 3 decisions. So that person that makes each of the 3 decisions, each of the 3 plans, is a different person at a different time going through different things. And that is so powerful. And here's the main reason why it's so powerful, and I love this model, is because when you can decide about the next 3 things in the current moment, you're not trapped at promising yourself certain things that you've planned or decided way in advance that you no longer feel like doing because things have shifted, and then you don't feel like a failure. And most of people's failure, or the feeling like you're not adequately performing, is because the plans are way too far ahead. And those plans that are way too far ahead cannot ever exist that way, because it's entropy. The chances of things changing, reorganizing, is way higher than of it working out the way that you have it set up. So the mental fatigue, the decision fatigue we get from this is way, 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 way more than we should be getting when we're making these decisions. So the next 3 is the key. You decide and you plan 3 steps ahead, getting to the reality of those 3, and then move in those 3s. Now, for some of you folks, you're like, 3 steps, Paul, you're out of your mind. Okay, I get it. The next 5. Okay, if you got to stretch it a little bit, but I'm telling you, the 3 seems to be the right number, but maybe if you want to go a little more, you can. There's no point of thinking past that point. And watch you catch yourself as you go, I need to do this and this and this and this and this. Go, no, hold on. What is the next 3 things I need to do? And what's the next thing? Okay, and then you're like, wow, I feel so free. And then those next 3 things, and then you're like, okay, now I can think about the other stuff. So where's the real challenge in this? And this is where we'll wrap it, because it's about to get to 10 minutes. And, you've probably got the next 3 things you got to do, because I got the next 3 things right now, is drive home, get myself some good old-fashioned Russian borscht. And then 3, I've got a demo for my business at 2:30 p.m. that I cannot wait to crush. So those are my next 3. Nothing else matters besides that. Things can come along the way, but I'll just receive those as they come. But I've got my 3 pillars, and I'm Gucci, okay? So back to this. So where's the toughest challenge? Well, the toughest challenge is feeling that lack of control. You think you're no longer in control because you're not really seeing as far ahead as you need to. But you have to comfort yourself to know that that far ahead point is a fallacy. You cannot really accurately plan that far ahead anyway. You just can't. So why even bother? Keep your mental energy close and powerful. Make 3 really good decisions in the present moment, 3 really good plans in the present moment, and execute them. It's doing ordinary things extraordinarily well, rather than having a stack of 20 things to make yourself feel busy up here, but then it never really actually gets done. If you want to feel like you're running and life is running behind you trying to catch up, but you're in the lead, the next 3 is the secret. If you want to continue to feel like life is faster than you could ever be, and you are feeling trapped by that, and you can never feel like you never feel like you can catch up, it's because of this fallacy of planning, and it's this fallacy and mental fatigue that is forcing you to act that way. all right, to feel that way. Hopefully this was helpful. Remember the next 3. Give it a shot this week. And if you like it and if you love it, share it with everybody you know and tell them to join LifeGenics so we can all take advantage of these amazing ideas and hacks to help us keep what's here super, super, super sharp. All right. Have a great week. I'll see you in class tomorrow. Paul is out of here.